That's a live website link. You go to that website, it exists on the internet. You can share with your friends, etc. Let's try it. Here is the easiest, simplest guide you'll ever get for Cursor AI, and I'm going to show you how to use it from start to finish. Trust me, when I say easy, I mean easy, y'all. I'm giving you a free Google Doc that's going to walk you through step-by-step for Mac, Windows, Linux. We're going to do everything together. You're going to have this Google Doc, and on top of that, if you have questions, like you run into errors, you're like, Corbin, I ran that terminal command, I got an error, what's even going on? Don't worry, I even solved for that. By clicking that little link right there, and I'll put in the description down below as well, I created an entire ChatGPT chat that you can ask very specific questions and get very specific outputs to help you build out your first Cursor AI project all the way to the point of having a live website link. Therefore, if you run into errors, you have this video with me in it, you have an entire Google Doc, and you have an entire ChatGPT chat. Sound good? Let's jump in. This video is here because of extreme popular demand. I'm going to show you step by step as if you've never launched anything to do with code, never used anything with code. I'm going to show you everything to install, how to run it, how to apply it, everything. Everything, Corbin, everything. To the point that you'll have a live website link that looks like this with your website and your code deployed. That is why I went the extra mile of this video and I gave you a Google Doc that's going to show you how to do it step by step and allows for every single OS system to even access it. So it's simple. By the end of this video, we're going to take code like this, push it to an actual live website link, not localhost 3000, although I'll show that as well, but an actual live website link you can start using right away. So grab your coffee and let's get going. I have no clue how long this video is going to be. I assume 20 to 40 minutes long, but we'll see. Let's jump in. First step of all first steps, download Cursor AI. It's free to start. Proceed. Simply click download for free. Once you've downloaded Cursor AI, let's do step one in our Google Docs here, which is going to be creating a project directory. When looking at this Google Doc, I structured it as simple as possible. I mean, I could not have structured this any simpler, y'all. What I do is I provide the commands relevant to your operating system. And then on top of that, I make sure to apply an additional note here. The purpose of the additional note here is to explain as layman as possible what's even happening in the process. So let's go ahead and start here. To start off, all we need to do is come down to this button right here, click it, and go to terminal. Now that we got terminal open, let's do that first command. Coming over to our Google Doc here is our first terminal command. Think of terminal as our way of conversating within our computer. Don't worry about it. Don't complicate it. This is how we proceed. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And before you rush to the comments, yes, I got the commands for Windows as well. So everyone's going to be able to follow this tutorial. And as I said before, if any terminology doesn't make sense, use that ChatGPT chat or alternatively read the additional note for you to understand what is terminal, what is a repository, what are we even doing right now. You can simply ask ChatGPT here or read the additional notes. Trust me, y'all. I got a lot of comments that said this was not simple enough. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So coming back to our terminal here, I'm going to Command V. Just going to paste it. And this is what we're going to call a directory. I want you to think of your directory like where we're going to store our entire code base. Code base, what I mean in this context is that code that we deploy to a website. Like when I go to a website, that's deployed code. When I say deploy, I mean you have it locally on your laptop. Like, let's just say you have like a text file, right? You drag and drop it. It's in the trash. Only you have access. It's not like a shared Google Doc. It's just like a local text file. But now we're deploying it to the internet. If some of you are all like, Corbin, why did you even explain it like that? I'm trying to explain this as simple as possible, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and name it first project. This could be anything. Apples and ham, green eggs and ham, time to code, new Facebook, anything, y'all. This is just your name. This is how you're going to reference it. I mean, I named it corned beef hash up there. So this could be really anything. I'm going to hit enter. Now that we've done that, we're going to do the next command here, which is going to allow us to access this directory within the terminal itself. So I do cd and then the actual name of the project. So I'm going to pick here, slash, there we go. And what you'll notice is that this little terminal line here is going to extend. It means we're conversating it within that. We're talking directly within that folder for all the code and everything we're about to install when it comes to doing stuff in a software development environment. Now, pro tip number one, create yourself a terminal cheat sheet. In your notes, stickies, whatever it may be, these are going to be commands that you run repetitively throughout the application development process. So for example, this right here is very important. Let me show you why. When I start a new terminal and you don't see like first project or whatever you name it, all you need to do is simply paste that command and you're good to go. And you'll basically be running every single command you see from here on out in this tutorial through this. Sound good? We've successfully created a repository. It's going to allow us to create code files and do everything like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit open folder. In open folder here, I'm going to simply select the folder that's relevant to the project I just created. So first project is the name here. I'm going to hit open. Now that I've opened my folder here, we are in Cursor AI And we've successfully created an area where we can install dependencies, React, like everything we would want to build out a web development application. Step 1 is done. Let's go to step 2 here, which is going to allow us to install Node.js. This is how we're going to build our React application here. And we got the step-by-step guide right here. As referenced before, we got Mac, Linux, and Windows. So don't worry. Let's begin here as a Mac user. So I'm going to go and copy this first line. Don't worry. I got the Windows version as well. Now, when installing Node.js and Homebrew and everything you're about to see right now, we're going to create a new terminal window. If you want to know how to access this on Mac, simply type in terminal. If you want to know how to access on Windows and Linux, simply type in terminal. Same deal here. There's going to be a global directory. This is going to be our overall laptop. So we're no longer inside of first project because what we're installing here is going to be used throughout our laptop in the context of software development. Sound good? Paste that first link. Once you paste the first link, hit enter. Now, because of the fact that this is going to be used throughout your laptop in the context of development, this is going to require sudo access. Sudo access in this context means administrative access, or basically, do you own your computer? Like, is this yours? Enter your password. Once I do this, and also as a side note, when you enter passwords, like it doesn't show you like a little asterisk, like it's there right now, but obviously you don't see it. Hit enter. This is just going to go over everything that's installing here. We don't have to worry. Go ahead and hit enter. We are installing Homebrew. Homebrew. We got it installed, and what I usually like doing after a big command like this is you can just spam enter, and we're on to the next. Second thing we need to install here is going to be Node.js. So we're going to do brew install node. Now look at this. I got an error here. It says brew doesn't exist, but we just installed brew. What is going on here? Obviously, you get an error like this. Go ahead and copy everything, paste it into this chat, get help. But I found the solution, and I went ahead and just added it to the doc here. So for example, in this context, we need to make sure to add Homebrew to the path, like so we can actually reference it within our terminal here. Copy this entire thing here. You're going to put your name there though. So for example, my current profile on Mac is called Coffee Fuel. So my specific line is going to have Coffee Fuel for the users. Therefore, if you run into this error for Linux or Windows, make sure to use that ChatGPT chat. Just copy the entire terminal output and it'll help you out. From here, we can go and continue our next step here. We're going to do brew install node. And here we go. So while that installs, I want to make clear again that if I run into any errors in this video, we'll walk you through step by step how to solve it. I'll add it to the doc. But that's the idea here. I want to make this as simple as possible. Like I can't make this any more simple. So I'm trying my best here. But in any context, I run into an error. Proceed in this manner. Use the resources and go. It's been successfully installed. On to the next step. So now that we have successfully installed Node.js, this command will work. I know this is from a past video. A lot of y'all in the comments are like, Corbin, it didn't even work. Like npx, it didn't even work. It's going to work now. Copy this line. Come back to Cursor AI here. Come back to your terminal, which is in our directory. This is very important. It's in our directory. And every time I reference directory, I'm referring to the project name, first project. Paste that line. That's the wrong line. Let me actually copy the right one. There we go. And hit enter. This is going to install React files that are relevant for application development. That rhymed on accident. Let it install. Let it install. 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 Boom, boom, and boom. Once it's installed, that's where all these files come into play that we can start playing around with. So you'll see this here. And if you got into this point, then you have successfully completed step 2 here. You have created a new React project with me. If anything I just said in the last couple of minutes didn't make sense, read the additional note, ask ChatGPT. Let's proceed to step 3 here, which is connecting GitHub. Now, let me explain GitHub a little bit to anyone that doesn't have any idea what this is. It's 2 major things. Well, first major thing, it's free, so proceed. Completely free to use for everything you're about to see in this video. The second major thing about GitHub here is that it allows for you to back up your code in the cloud. When I say cloud, I mean like the internet, right? So all your code isn't just on your laptop. Your laptop burns, you lost your code, oh no, kaput, it's done. Having GitHub, though, will have it stored in the cloud. This allows us to create, versions of our apps, right? Version 1, version 2. Maybe you really mess up on version 2 and you want to roll back to version 1. Using GitHub, we can roll back to a previous commit. This allows us to have more flexibility when coding, create different branches. When I say branches, different offshoots of the same application, maybe a new feature. Oh, I'm adding a footer for this branch. And if I mess up entirely bad, I can just revert back to an older branch. Think of a branch like a version. I'm trying my best here, y'all. Trying to explain this as simple as possible. This will make more sense when you actually start using GitHub in application process, as it's, obviously kind of hard for me to explain through dictation, everything above the board here. Let's go ahead and proceed here. Create your GitHub account. Here we go. We're going to create our first GitHub repo together. Exciting stuff. If you feel like you learned something up to this point, make sure you leave a like. It's completely free. Let's begin here. We're going to hit new. When we are in these settings here, we got to make sure we fill out a very specific type of wording here. So the first thing here is your repository name. What I typically like doing is naming the repository name in GitHub the same name I used it in my local project. When I say local project, I'm referring to this, what's actually physically on my computer. So for me, I'm just going to call this GitHub repository first project as well. First project. Description, optional. And then finally, which is probably the most important part here, is that you have the choice between public and private. Most likely, I would assume most of you want private, so people can just steal your code. So choose private. These other options, we can just leave unselected and hit create repository. Now, once you create your repository here, it's going to give you a ton of directions and stuff to do. Don't worry, we're going to do that together in this video. And of course, it's all outlined in step 3. So before anything though, let's go ahead and initialize Git on our computer so we can do Git commands and everything works in that manner. When I say Git, G-I-T, I'm referencing our ability to conversate with GitHub here in our terminal. So coming back to my global terminal here, I'll just call it global. It's global. I'm going to go ahead and paste this command, brew install git, enter. This is going to make it so that any Git command you're going to be able to do on your laptop and have no issue. With that successfully installed, let's do step 1 here, where basically our goal is we're connecting the cloud with our local project here. We're going to connect the two. So with this command line here, make sure to replace hashtag your repo with your repo name. So for me, it's first project. For you, it's fill in the blank. Coming back to my terminal here, and I'll jump over here, so I'm not blocking it. I'm going to go ahead and paste those lines. Notice, echo, hashtag first project name or first project. Everything else is the exact same. We're going to do a first commit together. Hit enter. Pretty good. As you'll see, we got one file changed and we got a new README. Welcome to the README. So now that we know the kind of connection of adding a README file, let's connect our repository here. So I'm going to copy this. What I want you to notice is this. Your username is going to be found up here. So if you scroll up here, you're going to go all the way to your top left. My username is Coffee Fuel Bump. My project name, my repo is first project. It's very important that you put your username and your project for this terminal command. You're going to replace your username with your username, your repo with your repo. Mine's first project. Same situation here. The last thing we need to add to this terminal command, though, is going to be your personal access token. This gives us the ability to access this Git. Because of the fact that it's private, we need to add this step here. To add, it's pretty simple. We're going to come over here to the top right here, and we're going to simply hit settings. Once we're in our settings here, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go to developer settings. We're going to find personal access token here, fine grained tokens. Once we're here, we're going to say generate new token. Just to take a step back here, because you're like, Corbin, what are we even doing right now? Like, what's even happening? What do you mean a token? Talking about like crypto? No. A token in this context, they give it like a key to a lock. This is going to give us the ability to access this repository through our local machine because we got the key. Like DJ Khaled said, I got the keys. Another one. Okay. Name your token. So it's going to be anything. I'm going to say first project. I'm just going to do first project token here. Expiration date. We'll say 90 days. Actually, we'll do 7 days because this is like temporary for me. You can add a description for what the token's context is. So whatever your app is that you're developing here. And the next part is very important here. So we're going to say only select repositories. We're going to select our very specific repository, which for me is first project. So that's going to be right there, first project. Next, with these permissions, we're basically going to give this token access to everything. Everything, Corbin, everything. So what you want to do is you're going to go through every single one of these steps here, and you're simply going to put read and write, like whatever the max is, you're going to give it. So let me go ahead and do that real quick to this first step. Every single one of those options is read and write. Let's go to the next one, account permissions here. Same deal. Thinking admin access here. We want to give this token all the possibilities so that we never run into errors. Read and write for everything. Just to confirm with y'all, there we go. And for the ones you're like, Corbin, what about that one? That says read only. That's just because that is the max that's afforded to me in that. Once that's done, we're going to simply hit generate token here. Now this is going to look blank to you. Why? Because that's the access token. But make sure with this token, you copy that, save that somewhere safe, as you'll never be able to see it again. Now, obviously, if you mess up, lost it, need to redo these steps, just generate a new token and follow what I just showed you. All right, coming back here, what I suggest you to do is I suggest you to copy all of this, put it into a notes, and simply like just replace these variables with your specific variables so that you can go ahead and just paste it in one block and hit enter. I'm gonna go and do that. Just for your reference, this is what it looks like. Obviously, I input all my relevant variables. The only one I didn't input was my personal access token. To do so, simply grab this and just paste over with your access token. We're gonna do this all in one go here. Just for reference, that's what it should look like. Obviously, add your personal access token that we just got right there. I'm gonna hit enter a couple times. I'm gonna paste that block and then hit enter. Once I do that, this is what a successful message looks like, and I should be able to go back to my GitHub here and see it. We successfully connected Cursor AI with GitHub. It's private. No one else will be able to access it. Only you can with that personal access token. As I said before, you run into any errors, any issues, any questions, of course, leave it in the comments down below. I'm assuming someone within the community can help. But also, you got a ChatGPT chat here. I want to be very clear here, though. What I'm showing you in this video is very complex work, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So if you run into issues and errors and this is your first time ever coding, that's to be expected. That's just kind of how every beginner's journey starts, right? So don't give up. Keep going at it. This is very advanced stuff that I'm trying to make like bite-sized chicken nuggets, which you know is really good. Spicy barbecue sauce, sweet and sour sometimes. It can hit. It can hit. But keep that in mind. Okay, let me just show you how to do your first commit here so you can understand what a commit is. You've heard this term before. You're like, why do these people keep talking about commit? Are you trying to commit a relationship or no. Like actual commit in the context of coding. So let's go ahead and learn how we do this. When can a commit occur? A commit can occur when your local code, what's found here, is not found in the cloud. When I say the cloud, I'm talking about GitHub. To know what branch you're in or what version you're playing with, you're going to look over here. See how it says main? In order to know what branch is happening here, when I say branch, I'm just talking about like, this is like a snapshot of what your code looks like in this specific version. I guess a simpler way of putting that is like you got Google Doc A that says like, hello, great day. You got Google Doc B that says, hello, great day to you. The slight change is the to you. So that'd be Google Doc B would be like a separate branch. Google Doc A would just be the original wording. Let me know if this makes sense. I'm trying to explain this as simple as possible. But the idea here is this. We got our main, and to see what branch we're going to say git branch. Right now we're in main. So now that we know that we're in main, it's like a main branch here that we can revert back to. Let me show you a commit. So right now this is the README file. Let me zoom out a little bit. It has all this stuff in here. I don't care. Command A, delete. First thing you're going to notice is that notice how the branch has a little asterisk next to it. That means that something's changed. Like there's a difference between the one in the cloud and the one in your local machine. Second thing you'll notice is that notice how README is now blue. That means that a change had occurred. Therefore, what is this change? Let's just say hello. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. That's our change. Command save. Now, in order for us to push this to GitHub and have it reflected in the cloud, because right now this is not reflected. If I go to the README, it's the same stuff we just had before. Don't want that. We'll do the following commands. And I encourage you to add this to the cheat sheet you're creating, as this is how you always push a new update. We're going to do git add, period, git commit, -m, parentheses, or quotation marks, give a name for it. What happened? What are we pushing here? What are we saving here? Now, reality-wise, if you've coded for a while, sometimes this is kind of crazy stuff. Like you just put something random just because you're like, I just need to push this. But good etiquette, I suppose, is to name the commit what happened, what changed. So for this one, read me changed. We're going to do quotation again, hit enter. And the final thing we have to do is git push origin and then the branch name. So since we're in main, that's the branch name. I hit main here and boom, it's going to go. Coming back over to our GitHub here, I'm going to reload. And what you'll notice is that it'll be 3 commits now. Within that commit, you can see the actual commit name. I can click that. And within the commit name, once you click it, it shows you what's changed. So in this context, we deleted all this code. Bye-bye is red. And we added that one little line. Hello, leave a like if you enjoyed. Sound good? Now, if you followed along, you have successfully done your first commit to GitHub. You are a full-on software engineer now. Full stack developer. Let's move on. On to step 4 here, which is going to show us how to start the React application, which really just takes a simple command of npm start. What this is going to do is this is going to open up a separate web browser, and it's going to be a localhost 3000 URL. Simply put in the command. Hit enter. Once you hit enter, it's going to open up a browser here, and this is what you're going to see. What's being reflected here is the code found in app.js. This is what's being reflected here. The advantages of being a localhost 3000 is 2 major things. First off, this is not on the internet. Like, this isn't real. This is completely on your computer. So if you got a really cool project, a really cool app, and you're trying to share it to your friend, and you send them the link localhost 3000, not going to show up. Nothing. Second thing, because that this is all local, any change I make is going to reflect instantly. So for example, edit source app.js and save and reload. Coming over here, I could just be like, nah, I'm going to do my own thing. If you know the reference, let me know in the comments if you know that reference. Command save, and right there. Nah, I'm going to do my own thing. Shows instantly. Okay, that's step 4. Step 4 is out of the way. We're good to go. Let's go to step 5. If you've gotten up to this point, congrats. Because I can already tell this video is going to be long. Like, really long. So this point now is that you successfully, from start to finish, up to this point in the video, have created a React-based application. Now, the name of the game is how do we take this application and have it actually show on the internet? E.g., I create something super cool. I can actually take that URL and share it with my friend. Let me show you how. So to do this, we're going to use Firebase. And to be honest with you, I could dive way deep in why we're using Firebase and just think of Firebase as our ability to host our website. E.g., if you've done web development in the past, like you were hosting with Shopify, were you hosting with Google? Were you hosting with SquareDance or SquarePants? Whatever that one is, you know what I'm talking about. If you want a video of me diving deeper into this topic, check out that right there. I'll show you why basically it costs nothing to run this website. This video is so long, I'm losing my voice. So before we actually do that first command there, let's go ahead and create a Firebase project. Coming over to your projects, just type in firebase.com, hit create project. So with the project name, I encourage you to name this something that you can recognize and connect the two dots. So for me, I'm just gonna call it first project again. You call it whatever, first project. Let's simply hit continue. Now, if you're watching this tutorial for the purpose of really trying to build out a software or website that you're going to launch, obviously enable Google Analytics. This for me, I'm just showing you how to do it. So I'm gonna hit create project. We are creating our project in Firebase that's gonna allow us to host for free. For free. What do you think of that? Now, when using Firebase, you have a ton of different options. We're creating a web app today. I'm gonna hit web. With the web app, I'm gonna give it the exact same name here, first project. And it's already giving us the option here, so we're gonna make sure we do Firebase hosting as well. That looks good. Register app. Next, we're gonna do the steps found in our Google Doc. This is gonna be blurred out a little for obvious reasons because that's my stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and first install Firebase. Coming over to our Google Doc, it's npm install Firebase. Simply go to your terminal here, and we're gonna simply put in npm install Firebase, hit enter. With that installed, what you'll notice is that our package lock.json and our package.json is gonna have a new dependency, and that's gonna be Firebase with the version that's relevant to it. Let's go to our next step here, which is gonna put in the relevant code that we need to put in order to connect Firebase hosting to our project. To do so, simply put in the command touch source firebase.js. What this is going to do is this is going to create a JS file. Boom. With that JS file, this is where we're going to put all that relevant code you just saw from Firebase console. What code am I talking about? This code. Scrolling down here, what you'll notice is that I put it in here as well. So use this code right here, input all your relevant information, and get going here. So let me make my life easy here. I'm going to simply copy all this. I'm going to paste it here. And then what you should do is simply overpaste this or take the code you just saw from Firebase console and paste over here. I'm going to hit command save here. And obviously it's going to be blurred out a little bit because that's security reasons. Now that we've made that file, it's installed. Let's go ahead and install Firebase tools. This is going to allow us to initialize or start hosting for this web app. Copy this line. And before we do that, let's go to make a commit here. Good practice, right? So you can hit down or up on your arrow keys on your laptop. This is going to allow you to go to previous commands. So for me, I can go all the way up here, go to git add, git commit, change this maybe. Let's do Firebase added, hit enter, and then git push origin main. And this is going to add this information to our git branch. This is good practice here so we can revert if we ever mess up. Now that we've created our Firebase.js, we've installed the Firebase dependency. Let's install some tools here. This is going to allow us to initialize hosting. I'm going to command V the command line we saw earlier here, which is this. Hit enter. Don't worry, y'all. We're almost done here. I know this is a long stretch, but you are learning a ton. And I plan on doing more videos to give you more ideas and stuff we can do here. But don't worry, we're almost done. Coming back to our Google Doc here, we're going to do Firebase login. This is going to allow us to log into the Google profile that we created with our Firebase account. If you want to see these directions again, just simply come back to that Firebase page here, and you'll notice them here as well. Firebase login. This is going to pop up, a little pop-up here, and you're going to simply sign in. So I'm already signed in here, but just to really show you how to do this, I'm going to do Firebase logout. So that's how you log out. And what I suggest you to do, this is very important. So if you're on this far, write this down. Anytime you want to develop for the day and get going for the day, start with Firebase logout, Firebase login, just refresh it. Why? Trust me. Firebase login, enter. You're going to get this prompt here. Simply hit Y. This is going to open a choose your account window. Choose the account you made the Firebase app with. If you don't know, simply just go back here. Let me hit continue to console and then just see your little selector here. That's the one you made it with. Once you select your account, hit continue. All of this, make sure to hit allow. And you should get prompted with this message. And you should see the email that you created the Firebase with saying successfully logged in. Now, if it logged in, let's go ahead and initialize hosting. This is going to allow us to have our website live that I can share. Firebase in it. Firebase in it, mate. You like shrimp on the barbie, mate? Keep it nice. Get some ribs, some brisket, maybe some corn on the barbie. All right, that's my little Australian accent. All right, hit enter. You're going to get a couple options here. Now, we can dive a ton into this kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff of this nature. For now, though, we are just going to do a little select here for keypad and hit hosting. I'm going to do configure files from Firebase hosting, enter. My bad, space. With that selected, enter. Now you're going to get the option of basically creating a project, use an existing project. Well, since we already did all that, all the heavy lifting's done, use an existing project. This is going to then prompt all the relevant projects that we've created together. Now, what you'll notice is like, Corbin, why does it say 4F5 2F? That's just because like the actual first project in Firebase is obviously already taken. So sometimes what Firebase will do is just like add a little bit of like a string so you can still get access to it. Hit enter. What do you want to use as your public directory? Public. That's right up here. We're going to hit enter. Configure as a single app page. Say yes. Y. Enter. For now, we're just going to say no to the automatic builds to GitHub. N. And then when it prompts us to overwrite the existing index.html, hit no. N. So far, so good. With all that done, what you'll notice is that we are getting some nice little JSON files and Firebase files and everything we need to do to deploy this. Let's deploy. Coming over here to Firebase, let's go ahead and just add hosting to a shortcut so we can see this. Two major steps here. First one is npm run build. What this does is this builds out our front end. Everything you see visually. This is the React application. So in this context, right now, it's just this. So first, in any type of deployment to hosting, we do this command first. npm run build. Enter. Remember that little cheat sheet? Make sure you have that. Make sure to add this to your cheat sheet. It's built it out. This is built out our optimized version of a front end. Now let's deploy it to a live link. Simply put in the command Firebase deploy. Enter. There we go. That's a live website link. You go to that website, it exists on the internet. You can share with your friends, etc. Let's try it. So for example, I go to the hosting URL here, click it. Now I realized that there was one little issue here. So when you deployed that, you may have gotten a white screen. Don't worry. The issue here is that when we go to our firebase.json, we need to make sure we're building to the correct area. So instead of public, we're going to do build, command save. Let me show you a little trick here. We can actually run both these commands simultaneously. In order to do so, just copy both at the same time and hit enter. npm run build, come back over here, Firebase deploy. What this is going to do is first build out our front end and then build out our back end. Hit enter. Boom. So all I really expect to see here is what we saw in our React application earlier. Let's check it out. And there we go. Look up there to the URL. You'll notice this is a live website link. By the time you see this, I probably deprecated it, so you probably couldn't access it. Who knows? But the idea is this. You got it. You're good to go. Now you can add custom domains if you want. To do so, you're going to simply come back to your Firebase project here and hit add custom domain. Now there is a ton of other stuff I could do on this, but you successfully completed this huge tutorial. As I mentioned before, all the resources that are discussed in this tutorial can be found in the description down below, the Google Doc, ChatGPT, everything. If you run into issues, try that ChatGPT conversation, try commenting in this video. Maybe someone will help you out. In addition, let me know in the comments down below of different things you want to see past this. Now that you got it set up, what are you interested in completing with Cursor AI? Make sure you leave a like. It's completely free. And I do a ton of other stuff on this channel. It's not just these kind of tutorials. I do stuff when it comes to automations, news about artificial intelligence, my own software that I'm currently developing. You can see like a whole timeline and a journey, ChatGPT, Claude, like everything you need to know about artificial intelligence. You can get a real perspective from me, myself, and I, like that G-Eazy song. And I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to check out these videos, randomly chosen by YouTube's algo. Are they good? Are they bad? That's my face. And I'll see you in the next video.